Hello, and on the gaming table today, we're having some fun with ships, an ancient naval game. Now, fun with ships is not the name of the game. Fun with ships is just my title for this video. This is a game that my friend Kim has put together. He's building up some rules for ancient naval combat. And so I went to his place the other day and we had a bit of a game together to kind of test it out. So this was how things kind of got set up on the table. He's got some kind of a nice little table set up here with some different squadrons. So each of these bases that you can see, like the theta base here and so on, is a squadron of ships. And the ships, squadrons, usually it's triremes, maybe some quadremes and some, what is it called? Hexameres. I'm not up with the naval nomenclature of the day, but yeah, it's usually sort of 12 ships, something like that, and a squadron on a base. And then the squadrons can either basically be in line or in column. And then there are some movement cards here, the one on the right, which kind of shows you how many points it costs to do certain things. I'll explain those a little bit later. And then you have, for each squadron, an order card. And so this is a simultaneous movement game. It's played on a grid, and you write down some orders that cover a few movement points, 4 or 5 movement points worth of actions, and then we kind of reveal and see what happens. So this is an example of a movement. Here I've got the Alpha Squadron here, and it's going to move 2 grid squares straight forward. It's not turning. And the action, either A or E, if I run into the enemy, am I going to be aggressive or am I going to be evasive? And so you write a little order like this for each of your units, and away you go. So this was kind of the setup that we decided to kind of play out here. We've got equal forces. I'm playing the Macedonians, and Kim has got the Seleucids over there. I went for a kind of a plan here. I've got a couple of fast squadrons out on the left. Going to swing around a couple of these islands and try and get them in the flank, while the center kind of holds the line here near the coast. After the first turn, we pretty much just moved everything forward. Second turn, we're getting a lot closer here. So basically, we all just kind of moved straight ahead at this stage. Kim here writing his orders for the next turn. And then in the next turn, you can see the different orders I put down here for my units. So the 3 squadrons on the left here, sorry, 3 squadrons on the right. They did an about face, a move, and then an about face. Individual ships are maneuverable enough that they can do that in Kim's rules. So the whole squadron just kind of individually turns around, goes backwards, and then turns to face again. So I retreated here and kind of drew him in. And you can see here my left squadrons there are starting to get around the flank here. So this is what things are looking like. In the following turn, we're starting to get closer together here. I'm trying to get Kim kind of befuddled and disorganized here, but we'll see how we go. Another view of the same thing. And here's Kim putting his orders down for the next turn. So yeah, we just wrote them with an erasable marker on these nice cards that he prepared. And then, yeah, we lay them out and we see what happens. So here, in laying the cards out for this turn, you can see things are clashing here. The little 1 and 2 marker on the left kind of side of the picture there, that's kind of showing that order of combats as ships run into each other based on their moves. And you can see there's kind of an overlapping squadron there. It'll depend on combat 1 as to what happens with squadron Gamma there that you can see in the back. Just another view of the same thing. So this is where the first clash is happening. Columns against lines that don't have their flanks secured are a little better here, so a bit of an advantage to Kim. As a result of the combats here, I got pushed back a little bit, but that's okay. I lost a few ships. We just cross them off, and it reduces the number of dice we roll. So in a combat, basically you're rolling 1 dice per ship. You're looking for certain success numbers. And if you overmatch the opponents, so if I have a 6 versus a 5 when we kind of line the dice up, then that means I've done damage to the enemy. So here I lost 3 ships, so I just crossed them off. So over here, getting pushed back, but that's okay. The right-hand fleet there, right-hand squadron, excuse me, is disorganized, which is why the ships are at funny angles as a result of the combat. But yeah, we're following our plan at the moment. We're okay. And so in the next turn, this is kind of how things go. So now we've got clashes all down the line. My flankers over there are having a go at the squadrons at the top. On the right, we've got a couple of squadrons engaged, and in the center, kind of left here, we've got the squadrons re-engaging. There was also one squadron here that Kim thought he was being cunning. He thought I was going to pull back again, and so he charged ahead with the squadron, but now they're kind of in behind me, but they're quite a long way behind me. So let's see how that plays out. Over here, one of my squadrons did a good job and eliminated another of the enemy squadrons. So the squadron took enough damage, it had to take a morale test, and in that morale test it failed, and so it fled the field, basically. Here on the right, I was pushing back his squadrons. They're a bit disorganized there, but he'll have time to recover them before I can charge back in. But here you can see the state of the battle. My flankers are doing a good job over there. And my centre left here is falling back, but my centre right is pushing ahead. And again, we've left one squadron behind there in the dust over by the coast. Just another view of the same thing. So these two squadrons here are a little bit disorganized and running away. And basically I was just pulling them back and trying to draw Kim's squadrons out of the battle at this stage. Next round of action here, Kim turned one of his squadrons around and he's having a go at my rear. So you can kind of see at the top there, I've got a squadron, then Kim, then me, then Kim, then me. So we've got a lot of funny stuff going on here as the collisions happen once again. And here, as a result of some of that, a couple of the squadrons ended up at the depths of the ocean. So we've got some wreckage markers here showing that. But here, things not looking bad for me. I've got essentially in the middle here, 4 or 5 squadrons going up against 3 of Kim's. That laggard squadron near the coast, I'm basically just keeping away from that by pushing ahead. And so things not looking too bad for me here. Down here, one of my squadrons still fleeing away, just basically drawing off the enemy. One-on-one, that's okay here. It gives me advantage in numbers in other parts of the ocean here. And so getting close to kind of tidying up the game here, I managed to squeeze one of Kim's squadrons between 2 of mine, crush them. Again, here you can see basically it's 4-on-2 for me. And as a result of that, we had some boarding actions and other things going on. And after taking out one more of Kim's squadrons, we decided to call it a day there. So, interesting game. We're trying out the rules, as I said, and Kim's got some work to think about how to change a few of the rules. We discovered boarding actions, the way Kim was doing them, are a little bit complicated, so we can simplify that down a bit. But things like movement, basic combat, doing the orders is really easy, things like that. So no real problems there at all. It's quite a good game that Kim's building up here, so I'll be interested in playing it again sometime soon. Anyway, hope you found that a little bit interesting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.